Alright, this video, hello everyone. This is another sort of heavy subject. We're going to talk about stalkers. We're going to talk about forgiveness, and it is sort of my experiences. I've been in 3 situations in my life with stalkers. The first 2 stalkers that I dealt with was at the age of 6 and 7. They were just following me everywhere, trying to break in, and really just trying to get to me. And it was a very sort of dangerous situation. And when I was going to a after-school program, and sometimes they were just, a lot of the kids would end up going home, and I would still be there and with the teacher, and one of the stalkers would just be on campus just looking, that he knew I was still there, and he would literally be like going up to windows and looking, and it was just kind of a crazy thing because we lived on a military base. And so, there's sort of this belief that it was just super safe, and it was hard for people to believe that stalking was going on and on base. And so it went on for a while. I don't know what ended up happening to these 2 guys who were stalking me on base at such a young age, trying to get to the school, trying to say that my parents sent them, going into the office and trying to say, oh, my parents sent them to pick me up, and the school knew sort of what was going on. And, I didn't understand what was going on because I was so young, but I knew that, I couldn't let these stalkers get to me. I knew that even at that young age, I couldn't let it get me down, and I couldn't live in fear. When I was in my teens, that's when it was really bad. It was a 3rd stalker, and they were following me around and everywhere I went, trying to break in as well. And I don't know what the first 2 stalkers' intentions were, but this 3rd stalker, for whatever reason, it wasn't just, oh, this person is obsessed with you and that's why they're stalking you. No, this person really just wanted me dead for whatever reason, and I don't know what the reason is, and it doesn't really matter. For a long time, I was young and I was afraid to sort of go out and do things because I was like, I didn't want to be seen with my family and put them in danger, because for a long time I didn't know that this person knew where I lived. And there was a day in particular where my family had literally just left. They had been gone for like 10 minutes, and then it was just the stalker had so many people who were in on it, so many people who were with him trying to get to me as well. And I was in the house, and all of a sudden there was just a swarm of people. You can see through the curtains, it was daylight, you can just see all these people running through. I heard them come over the fence. You can see all these people running through the backyard. And they're trying to get in the windows. They're trying to get okay, I thought somebody was coming in. Trying to get in the windows, trying to get to me. And I had to barricade myself in, and I was calling 911. And side note, the 911 lady hung up on me because she was just like, okay, well, you need to call the police department, and there's nothing I can do for you. And I called the police department, and I got their answer machine, which I didn't know that they had an answer machine. And I called her back, and I was like, hey, they're trying to break in right now. Like, literally, like, there's got to be something else that you can do. Like, why would people be calling 911 if you're just like, there is nothing you can do? You can't get a hold of the police. I can't get a hold of the police. And meanwhile, you just hear them trying to bust through windows and break through doors. And it's so strange because I had literally been home for about 15 minutes, and when I came home, there were kids playing on the street and everything else. At some point, I think my neighbor scared them away. He was he was a pretty interesting guy, and he was a no crap type of guy, and he would literally come out with his gun if anyone is doing anything crazy. So I think he might have came out and scared them off, which was very nice of him. It was very nice of him. And he scared them off, and I remember waiting, and then the police came, talking to the police, and it was so strange because there was nobody outside anymore. It was just like a ghost town, and from then on, the police had to sort of, they got involved, and they would be just sitting outside a lot of days throughout the week just to kind of deter this person, because it's very hard to pin down someone for stalking because there's so many different things that you have to prove and that you have to go through. And there's so many, and the stalkers are normally very smart, and they don't look creepy like in the movies. They look like everyday people, and a lot of them are very successful in their own life, and you kind of think to yourself, well, why are you stalking me? Like, you are driving a nice car and you're doing very well for yourself. Some people are crazy, I guess. But for a long time, I held a grudge towards these stalkers, and finally I got to a point where I could forgive them. It took a lot of time, but then you realize, like, okay, holding on to this isn't doing anything for me, and you forgive them not because they deserve to be forgiven, but because it helps you move forward. It helps you move on. You're not carrying around this weight with you. It was very, there was a lot of experiences with, especially that third stalker, where, there's a lot of instances where I almost wasn't, I wouldn't be here right now. And there's a lot of things that happened, and, glad to be alive, glad to, be able to make this YouTube video. And I think it's just important to forgive people, and just for yourself, so you can move forward and not hold on to it for so long. I think, people being stalked is still sort of foreign for a lot of people to understand. And, but I think just overall, you have to sort of get into your mind that at some point you have to forgive them. And at some point you have to forgive everybody for the things that they do. And it can be hard and it can take time, but I think forgiveness is a very important thing. So, if you agree, if you have anything to add, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thank you for watching.